if you pay attention, if you control the language, you control the population.
Absolutely.
They do a very good job of controlling the language because people that are conservative are conservative. They're not trying to control other people, and then it's almost naive, but they control the language, so they control what you say and what you can't say. Once that happens, the wheels have started turning of Marxism, and then I'm afraid. I know that as this goes, they've taken over. They're trying to take over the schools. I know that eventually they're going to go after religion here pretty soon, because that's just the next step in what they've been doing.
Absolutely.
They're going to demonize the conservative movement with it's the churches that's there. They're going to start stripping. I'm afraid of them stripping nonprofits. I can see them stripping nonprofits of their nonprofit status. How they're going to go about it. They're going to go about it financially. They're going to manipulate these woke corporations to start saying, no, we can't associate with that church group or that church group. Churches and nonprofits are competition for government.
Absolutely.
So, again, they're in danger, and people need to wake up. I try to do it as best that I can try to be very honest with the students without telling them too much.
So in manipulating the language and redefining words and stuff like that, are you affected by that very much in your teaching?
As far as what I can say? Or
has anything come down from the top, like from any of your bosses? Have they said, okay, you can't say this or you can't talk about that? Has it gotten to that yet?
Or you can't teach it this way?
It has not gotten to anything like that, no.
Good. But it seems like it's definitely going to be going that way.
So are the kids in class now, or are they still online?
We have kids. Half of my class comes on Monday and Tuesday, and half my class comes on Thursday and Friday.
Okay, so
3 hours in the morning.
So they probably still feel a little bit uncomfortable, not super uncomfortable, but uncomfortable enough to not play politically. Well, I noticed a lot of kids these days play political. They will make fun of each other for, like, you're a Biden voter, you're a Trump voter, and they do a lot of like Indians and cowboys and Indians. Now they do political games in the schools. And
no, and that doesn't happen really at all. What came down to was the racial things is what it came down to, and things started breaking down when they started talking about racial.
So different
stuff.
Different areas. Different areas are applying different things here. The way the kids are starting into, like here in Roseburg, in this area, it's more of the left and right parties, and so there it's more racial.
Well, this just goes to show that there's a complete divide, because you have conservative areas that are doing one thing and liberal areas that are doing others. So it's the politics that has affected the education system. And the thing that I'm afraid of is that they are just programming these kids to be just mindless zombies, and they hear these certain buzzwords that are attached to a political idea that they have an emotional response to. You say the word Trump around some of these people, and they have a physical, visceral reaction to it, and that was programmed into them. And that's what's really scary, because you can't stop that. When you poison somebody's mind, the rot could be so bad you can never get them back. If you ever look at some of these TikTok videos that the parents are recording their kids these girls who have cut off most of their hair, dyed it green, have 15 different piercings, and are crying, saying, "No, Mom, I'm trying to educate you on this," and the mother saying, "No, that's brainwashing. I'm not going to listen to it." And these kids, they're gone. And that's a 15-year-old kid that you're going to have to really use the kid gloves and slowly bring them out of this, because their whole reality is going to be shattered once these kids get red-pilled, so to speak, that everything they based their feelings on was a complete lie. And it's hard, even as an adult, to admit to yourself that an idea that you've held for so long was wrong. You never want to be wrong. You always want to be on the winning side. You never want to out yourself and castrate or ostracize yourself from the group that you've been a part of. And when that feeling comes in at a very young age, that's why the Chinese people do it, especially with the Taiwan issue with these young kids. They're going to be the future soldiers. That's what's going to happen here, and we're not going to be able to fix it, and that will destroy us.
And it sounds like the school that you're in is very lucky to have a teacher like you. We do need to make sure that we protect all the teachers like you that keep the open mind.
And I know that there's more out there like me, more than in my area, at least more than you would be surprised to know. It's just
they just won't speak
petrified.
up. Right.
They're petrified.
Right.
And it's like I said, it's going to take a collective of parents of different racial backgrounds banding together with their teachers and making change and saying enough is enough. Let's go back to the basics. Let's compete on a world scale with math and language arts and reading, and let's worry about, that's what the rest of the world is worried about.
Exactly.
We are falling behind. We are falling behind.
Yes, and China is laughing at us the whole way because they're not teaching this stuff in their school. They're teaching 1 + 1 is 2 and 2 + 2 is 4, and that's just the way it is. And they are so far advanced.
They don't teach toxic masculinity. They actually discovered that they were having a problem with masculinity, so they started teaching men how to be men there again.
Yeah, no, that's
I know. I heard about that.
I can tell you firsthand, I never met a Chinese person with a mustache or a beard. I never met a Chinese man who, well, because they can't have guns, who owned a rifle. I never saw a Ford, a Toyota truck over there one single time. I saw a bunch of men wearing black pants, white dress shirts, and really smooth skin and curated nails. I got pedicures and manicures when I was in China because that's just normal. It was completely normal. And now in China, they've actually banned feminism. They have banned feminism.
So that's a topic I didn't even think about. Is the feminism movement, is that still going on? Are we still trying to demand the?
There is nothing. There is nothing supporting really girls or anything that anymore. No, because they don't have those types of groups anymore. They have racial and LGBTQ groups.
Which seems to me to be anti-feminist if they're going to be letting, children and people and individuals born as males competing with girls in girls' sports. I mean, that just shows you how far the brainwashing's gone when people actually don't object to that and agree with it and think that it's an advancement.
That. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you seem to have a pretty good grasp over your class and what's going on in your school.
And it sounds like there's going to be a lot of good kids coming out of your school.
If there's anything that we can do to further to help you organize, or if you know of other students or parents of students or other teachers that would want to talk to us and they can do it anonymously and we can kind of get the feel for everything. If there's anything that we can do to help you, please, let us know, because this is a fight for our country and the fight for the future of our children.
No, I agree, and I will. And I again, thank you. I am not afraid to speak out. I think that if asked, even by people of that are in charge of me, I would speak truth. My feelings to this. We have to change something, because I know that these kids are not being educated to the level that they're going to make them successful in life. And we need to be getting back to the basics: reading, writing, math.
Yes. There's a big
talk that bad. I literally have kids in an age group that you would not believe can't write a sentence.
Wow.
And these are older kids. They can't write a sentence.
And this is before the pandemic even started, or was this? And then the pandemic just exacerbated the whole problem.
Well, this started when the schools, and I don't know when this happened, when discipline was removed from the schools. You lost everything, because I always teach my students discipline is a great word, because you either have it or you get it. So if you have discipline, you're going to study in class, you're going to pay attention, you're going to do all these things. If you don't do that, at some point in your life, you're going to get discipline, because you're not going to be able to afford something, or you're not going to be able, and you're going to learn a lesson. You're going to be disciplined then, and you're not going to be happy about it, because you're not going to have much choice. So I always tell the kids, get disciplined now so that you can make those choices later. No one can control you if you know everything. Fear comes from lack of knowledge. They're trying to keep you fearful when they try to keep you unknowledgeable.
Yeah, and that's actually being taught as being racist, too. Part of the critical race theory is that being sure of yourself is a white privilege stance.
Yes.
Discipline.
And correct answers in math are racist. No,
Yeah.
math is beautiful because math has one answer most of the time,
Yeah.
and it's great and has a finality to it that you can be satisfied with. And for me, as a male gender, I like conquering things. I like conquering math problems. That makes me happy.
Right.
So,
It's the language of the universe. So,
Dumb as a bucket of shrimp.